Okay, I think my levels are okay. Everything looks good. Okay. Hello and welcome to Plugin Along, a stream dedicated to LOTRO plugins. Last time on Plugin Along, we continued our TitanBar currency work by swapping the human-readable internal keys that we were using, wallet, mithril coin, and so on, for the currency's image ID, just a number, but a consistent number for that currency, because that's the only language independent information for a currency in your wallet available to a plugin through the programming interface. So today we're going to continue with our goal of eliminating TitanBar's hard-coded list of currencies in favor of just whatever you want. So, as always, feel free to jump into chat with your thoughts and questions, be they plugin-specific related or just LOTRO in general. It's all good. Let me go ahead and move some stuff around here. Okay, so we're here in the capital of Western Gondor, Dol Amroth, which is where Treebeard, the server Treebeard, has given us access to in the latest release. Technically, we have access to lots more of Gondor, but our adventuring party has only just gotten into Central Gondor, so this is a place to be. I'm going to go ahead and bring my UI, well, my HUD back. Okay, so just in case you've forgotten, we can get to the plugin manager either with this little caret menu, going to System, going to Plugin Manager, or we can just type in /plugins space manager. Either one brings it up. And if you've made any changes to plugins while LOTRO is running, make sure you hit that green arrow button to have LOTRO go take a fresh look at your plugins directory. In this case, we only have our TitanBar, the one that we're in the middle of changing, installed. I'm going to go ahead and give that a load. If you don't remember what TitanBar is all about, it's all about placing information at your fingertips. In this case, we have every one of those hard-coded currencies up on the bar. And the goal is, of course, to support arbitrary currencies, not just those that were pre-known to TitanBar. Okay, so with that reminder of what we're trying to do, we have today our source code that we're using, Visual Studio Code. So this is Visual Studio Code. It is freely downloadable from Microsoft's website. Just search Visual Studio Code download. And click on the one that's Microsoft related. We're also using fork from fork.dev to wrap around our Git repository. So where are we? We are here in the updating key to image ID branch. Awesome. We've actually done that, so this might be a good time to kind of finish that idea going, where are we? Better currencies, the wallet window tree view. Okay. Yes. So we've done this update to updating key to image ID. So when we feel like we've finished that bit of code, we can go ahead and kind of merge that idea back into this better currencies branch. And we have two branches going at the same time, the better currencies and the side branch from that, the wallet window tree view. So we're all over the place on the things that we're doing right now. So, reminder, the old wallet window was this fixed list and fixed sized, can't resize this window, fixed list of currencies in no obvious order, but probably very much in order of being added to the window. I don't know what this ordering is. It confuses me. And the new window is very much meant to look like your wallet. Okay, so let's look at our to-do list, which we just have in a text file. A more refined version of this might use a bug tracking features in something like GitHub, but you can always just use a text file. Okay, so we changed the key last time from the friendly names to the image ID. What else do we have? Now the 26 currencies are updated. remove the progressive. Yeah, okay. We were using, oh, where was this? Was this in settings? We were doing an update of the save file. And as we were doing that, let me go ahead and load this one more time so we can see that file. We're going to go into Documents, Lord of the Rings Online. This is in Plugin Data, and all the way into this specific character's TitanBar settings file. And actually, let's go ahead and initialize those. So I have saved off a save file that has all of those currencies on the bar. So we're going to go into Plugin Along and every currency on bar, but not on the radar. Okay, so we're going to copy that over and replace anything that's there. Great. Okay, so the way the wallet was using these things like medallions, commendations, embers of enchantment, and we're trying to get away from that. And so there's code in here, and we can see transitioning currency, and we're going to want to find that and fix it. Okay, so we have the updating TitanBar character setting file from to version file from v1.0 to v1.1. And we only want to do this once now instead of repeatedly. Okay, to do, restore the unconcatenated keys here. Great. We were trying to make sure that these strings didn't exist, but we kept finding these strings here. So let's go ahead and fix that now. So we're just going to do a multi-select. This is in Sublime Text. Get rid of that and bring it back in. Is it possible to do a multi-select in Visual Studio Code? Probably. But by copying just the part out that I want to change, I make sure that I don't accidentally affect anything in a broader scope. Okay. Don't need to worry about that to do. Okay. Delete the next line is only needed during development. Great. So, is currency transitioned? Okay, so we have is the setting present, and if it is, then we're going to delete that to do item, or to do line. Okay, so we can test our changes there, make sure we've saved everything. Yep. Bring it back in, and we can see TitanBar loaded. But we didn't have a transition from 1.0 to 1.1 because that's already been done. So if we come on back in to Plugin Data, and we copy this back over, replacing those files, great. And then we load this, we're going to see updating TitanBar character setting file from 1.0 to 1.1. Now, it might be nice to actually say the name of the character that we're changing. This is the character file, so it's just for this character, but sometimes it's nice to have that level of redundancy. So if that's the case, we're in here, and we would like the name of the character. Okay, well, we can check with the API on where we're going to expect to get that, but we, from previous experience, know that there's a local player somewhere in here. Local player. So we can see player, that's going to be assigned to an object called player, and that'll be before we are doing the stuff that we're doing, so it's going to be available. So if we say here, player, get name, cool. Now, this is not localized yet. We should probably think about localizing. But let's see it in action first. And in fact, just because I don't want to have to redo those files again, let's go ahead and load this up. We can see it will look like updating TitanBar. I don't like how that came out. Updating character setting file for Affodil. Sure, let's give that a try. Updating TitanBar character setting file for Affodil from version 1.0 to 1.1. Sure, that's good enough for our purposes. But we want to go ahead and lift this out into the strings file so that that can be localized to French or German as is appropriate. So, to do, we can get rid of that. Okay, so we want to look at how do we do strings here. Well, there is a locale, and in that we have English, German, and French. So let's take a look at this. Okay, version. That's the only location of version. All right. So we're going to say L of TitanBar char. It doesn't have to be short. Character save file v10 to v11 equals, and then we can go ahead and bring in this string. But we are probably able to access player get name here as well. Just thinking my way through that one. So if we copy this over to the German, now that's right out under opt, great, and French, I think we've done a save all, yep. So we can go ahead and, okay, no syntax error there, but let's go ahead and use this in place of here. Now, since all of them are substituting in the character's name, I think it's fine to have the player get name over in the locale file. But a lot of times you'll want to swap in some sort of variable string into the formatted string, and then you'll use a placeholder. In here, that would be something like string.format, I say, and then %s, and then you're passing in the value, right? Now, for IntelliSense, we probably have local value equals hi, and then I say that local formatted equals. And then this is what you would see in that localized string, so that in French, German, and English, each one of them is going to maybe have a different way of quoting, a different way of whatever. But the thing that's going in, if it doesn't need to be localized, or if it's been localized in some other way, you can pass it in like this. But that does not apply to us. Okay, so everything looks good so far. Let's go ahead and redo these save files one more time. Load that in. Great. There we go. So, settings, we do not have access to L. Why not? Let's go check out main. And we can see settings gets loaded here. And where do the locales get loaded? Locales get loaded no, it should be there. Oh, applical directory is there. Let's look for this. In main, oh, it's in settings itself. Goodness. Why? Okay, that's settings, TitanBar L. That's fascinating. But also, how do we feel about that? I think, hey, there are a couple of writers coming in from Cozy Nessie. Welcome. This stream is nominally about Lord of the Rings Online, which is going on in the background here, but specifically about writing plugins or changing existing plugins for Lord of the Rings Online. In this case today, we are looking at TitanBar. Okay, so I think it would be reasonable to go ahead and hoist up these three things, and then the import so that we have access to the settings. So what we're going to say here is process the UI language before calling the an update function, so it can use localized output messages. Okay, so I think that's going to be good enough for what we're talking about. And as we can see, we did get the updated TitanBar character setting file for Affodil from version 1 to version 1.1. Cool. Okay, we have a couple of changes here. Let's pull up our source control and kind of review what we've done so far. Okay, so we're going to work our way through these changes. So this set of changes here is a single one. We're going to go ahead and look at it in situ. Restored unconcatenated keys. Okay, that's all fine. We're going to go ahead and commit that. Coming back into the settings. Interesting, I had that before. Yeah, that would be fine. Okay, coming on in here. Back to that function. Do not feel the need to change the line that's on right now. Okay, so we have turbine, awesome. So let's just commit this change here. And for that, we're going to need a couple of things. So we need turbine and turbine. How's that look here? Yep. We need this change here, and this, and this. We also need that localization in each of the files. Now, we don't have the French and German versions of those yet, but it will not crash if you're going to French or German. It'll just show the wrong language in that string. And so we have localized output message when upgrading or updating save file version. Cool. Coming back into settings here, we can see that we've done the removing the progressive bit, and that's what we were calling it here. Done. Remove. So, removed v1.0 to v1.1. Progressive. Okay, that's that. And is that true here? So, don't hide as much of that behind me. Awesome. Okay, so we are just doing it once, the version 1.0. We've got the, that's strange. That end was indented weirdly. Okay, we have what we're deleting here, and the if statement is simplified, and we got rid of the output line there. Everything looks great. So we're going to go ahead and take that. So that was removing progressive v0 to v1, only useful during development. Okay, let's commit that. And that gets us back to a clean working directory. Oops. And loading this, everything looks good. And more importantly, well, more importantly than looking good, is I can still interact with things here. I can still left and right click them. I can still see this window. And if I want to, I can go ahead and say, put the money as a tooltip. Great. The functionality seems unchanged. Okay. I'll go ahead and push those changes out. So now the 26 currencies are updated, remove the progressive abilities, done. Once that's done, can we kill all references to predefined lists of keys? What a great question. So, a thing that we had in TV resources was a reference to those image IDs, and we were able to get rid of that recently. Fantastic. Where are these things? So if we search for, let's say, LOTRO points, are we going to find one of these references? So we want to find just that word. Okay, here it was. The key phrase, currency, great. So how is currencies used still? Okay, in background.lua, update background color. So we're iterating through these things. Okay. How is currencies being used? Background.lua, update BC variable. We iterate through all possible currencies and set the corresponding bc.alpha. Alpha, red, green, blue values. And we're going to go ahead and turn on that word wrap. Okay. How do we use it here? We're in import control? No, where are we? For main. Okay. FRM main.lua. Are we in a function? Yeah, FRM main. We iterate through all currencies, and if their location where is not visible is tooltip or bar, TitanBar. Then we import the control. So there, we could definitely replace that with, if we have a list of image IDs for whom their currency is on the bar, we can iterate through that instead. Once again, I'm kind of regretting having a few of these items in currencies. Wallet and money specifically. They're just such exceptional creatures. Money would be okay. Money is an actual thing that is on the bar because of the wallet. But wallet itself is not a currency. It's the thing that you use to show the currencies. So I'm increasingly realizing that I don't think that was the right move to put wallet in like that. And I think it's undoable. But yeah, what we really wanted was all of these things that are special, that are that have this triple visibility of not on the bar, or tooltip instead of just shown or hidden the way everything else on the bar is. So wallet is shown or hidden. That's why we have this little exception here. If the key is wallet, then is active. Yeah, there is no where. Okay, but that tells us what we have there. In here, this is frm options.lua, just at the root level. We iterate through all currencies. And set up a wallet controls entry containing the current show hide and control. Now, why do we do that? So why do we have the show hide there? That feels like a great way to get out of date. I can understand why we have the wallet controls there. Again, this is misnamed. Is it worth putting a pin in the currencies thing to look at why this is called wallet controls and where it's used? Wallet controls is used here and then iterated through here. Okay. Wallet controls. So we're looking for the show item, show hide. All right. Oh, I think that's interesting. The lack of a generic show hide lookup like we have for everything else. Show bag info, show player info, show equip infos. We have these bespoke variables for each of those. And it makes it very hard to parameterize things. And their solution seems to be a local wallet controls that can be used while we're doing stuff in here. But where is resize controls? Oh, interesting. So we're setting up the options. And in here, we're going to have a scroll bar. Yeah, okay. But my concern is that wallet controls needs to be initialized not just once, but any time that we're showing this window. And even then it gets out of sync. I assume this is copying by value and not by reference. Okay, so if we go to options and we see the height here, I'm not convinced too many of these are caring about that. Let's look at, I don't know, player location and time. Okay. Okay. And now let's come into options. And if we unhide player location and time, we could assume that those are still getting this information. Interesting. Okay. There's also icon size. Is that being used here as well? This is resize controls, and this is resize icon. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and just give a little bit of a output there. We can see we're resizing the icon for all of these things, but also for wallet. Okay, cool. What happens if I turn wallet off? Wallet still gets it. Not surprisingly. What happens if I turn something else on? Let's say backpack infos. I use that all the time. It doesn't get it. Okay. Does it get it if we reopen that? I think almost certainly not from what we saw in the code. Okay, so this is just an outstanding bug. I mean, it's a pretty bad bug. It's not that great. No. Okay. So what we're thinking is the initialization of that show hide, as long as we do it, would be beneficial to recalculate it. And so what are we looking at here? We see for these things, we're looking at show hide. For this thing, we're looking at show hide. That's all fine. But what we would like to do is setting this up, wallet controls here, is fine. But let's do two things. Let's fix the name of it. From wallet controls to possible, no, just TitanBar controls. Sure. Okay. Which, so this should hold, no, we'll just say it holds all possible, no, holds This allows sending messages to all possible TitanBar controls, so they can be notified if the TitanBar height changes or the icon size changes. That is what TitanBar controls is for. Very good. Let's go ahead and save that off. Everything except that line there. Okay. Fixed name of variable. Cool. So with that fixed, what we want to do is probably have the initialization of the controls is a little concerning because it means we won't be able to easily adapt to arbitrarily added controls. I think that is a thing for the to-do list. Okay. How should, where is this? FRM options dot Lua, and this is TitanBar controls, handle arbitrarily added currencies. How do they get notified of the new icon size? Question mark. Okay. But for right now, we have, I'd prefer not to reinitialize this thing a lot. But the initialization of the show hide can all be done in a function. So if we have function update show hide update TitanBar controls show hide. Great. So what we want to do is we want it to look like this. We're going to go ahead and so if why would that be null? That would be null because it hasn't been imported. But if it has been imported, I think we just need to do the whole thing. So if that is not null, then TitanBar controls equals that, and we'll initialize okay, but what if we've already done that? Also, are we sure that's all of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, it's somewhere else, so 11. That seems concerning. I'm going to use the snipping tool to just grab that. And then coming back into here. Okay, so we know wallet is somewhere else. Backpack infos, cool, PI player info, EI equipment info, DI durability. Player location doesn't have an icon, so I could kind of see that. Track items, sure. Infamy and Renown are the same thing. Okay. VT, Vault. SS, Shared Storage. Okay. DN, Day and Night. And RP Reputation. Okay, I think the two that are excluded are ones that explicitly do not have icons. So I imagine that's the intent. That have an icon so they can be notified. Note, it seems intentional that what? Time and what was the other one? Player location. Okay. That player location and time are intentionally excluded. Potino Bowen says, "Hail, hello, welcome." Oh, just right. Asked, is LOTRO Store down for anyone else, or is it just me? I did actually have that problem over on Laurelin, where I tried to open the store and did not get it, but now it seems back. So give it a try now. Okay, just right. It says it's working for you. But yes, I did have that problem about half an hour ago on Laurelin. Maybe about 45 minutes at this point. But you ask, how's it going today? It has been raining on and off a lot here. But definitely a very straight up and down rain, not a lot of wind, which is good because I like having the windows tilted open for that kind of thing. Makes for nice breezes. Okay, so yes, it seems that player location and time are intentionally excluded, and we know wallet's included here, even though I am regretting that. So we might actually be pulling wallet out of there before too long. Okay. Okay, so we iterate through for currencies, we iterate through for here. So we're going to go ahead and at least have an update TitanBar controls. And so wherever this is being used, we're going to come on in here. That's in the resize controls. So just go ahead and call update. And that's in a resize icon. Call update. I'm not a big fan of that. I think it'd be nicer if we had that idea of what's on the bar somewhere else. But for right now, I think that's a reasonable compromise. So if we go ahead and take off backpack info and we go ahead and reload the bar, and we go ahead and go into more options, we can see resizing all those icons. Great. And now if we go ahead and add the backpack infos, it's going to get notified now. Awesome. If we go ahead and take off backpack infos, it's actually still going to be notified, I think, because it's loaded up in the background. But if we were to shrink this down and reload and add backpack infos, we can see it's small. So go ahead and reload one more time. Then we're going to come into more options, increase the size, and then come on in here and add backpack infos. Now, why is it large? I don't actually know. Is this going to set like a default background size? Okay, resize icon. I'm uncertain. I think it's possible we... didn't unload before making the change. Let's come on in here. Let's go ahead and reload. Backpack infos. It's small. Interesting. There may be some other way that we're tracking this for controls that weren't loaded at the time. I like the idea of this. Do I? It's interesting. I like the idea of only importing files for the controls if they're going to be used. It keeps the footprint for TitanBar a little bit smaller, but they do have to add a lot of extra code to account for that. Oh, is this thing even loaded? Okay, it is, then we can do it. And that is something. Okay, so what do we have here? We have iterating through each of the currencies and then looking for its table. And if the table exists, then we're going to do stuff. What I'd like to see currencies change to is instead of this predefined list of what's in the window, it becomes a list of currencies that are currently added. And that would actually be in your settings. So a more of a dynamic list. But that's okay. We've at least fixed a naming problem. Fixed bug where the show hide status and loaded statuses of a control were not updated for icon size changing. Well, and the row, but okay, so we're going to go ahead and delete that. Right line, update. The rest of this, I think, looks good. If we turn off the minor changes, we can see we've just wrapped most of it into a function call, which we then call and added some notes. I think that all looks great. So we're going to go ahead and take that and our to-do note. Okay. So we're going to go back to finding all references. We were in FRAM options, and we're going to keep on going. Raisin says, hello, you are Barry. Welcome, Barry. Okay, so in here we're changing colors. And T color. Okay, functions.lua, that's fine. Functions.lua, change color. We iterate through all currencies, and if they are visible, set their back color. Arson says, this is my second account. I don't know where my other is. Yeah, I get that. It took me many years before I had a good framework for remembering what all my accounts were for all the various websites I was using. Okay. Functions, menu control. We use it twice. How do we do this? Okay, if the value is control, What's going on here? Well, Rosenberry, there are a lot of things on the screen. At the very back of the screen, this is Lord of the Rings Online. This is the game that we're ostensibly playing here today, but we are working on the code for one of the plugins, TitanBar. And in order to do that, whoops, didn't mean to hit escape. We are looking at this source code, which is the language Lua, and we're using a Visual Studio Code to make changes. So that's the main window that we're doing stuff in here. And we're kind of working through the code to try to figure out how it's dealing with this specific thing. Excellent. You know LOTRO. Yeah, and so that's the topic of this stream is what it's like to change existing plugins to write new plugins. How do plugins work under the covers? So you're welcome to stay around and see what's going on. Okay, so what does it mean for unload control to be called? This is only referenced in a couple of places. It's defined here, and it's either going to be called with control or apply to this. Okay, these are unload menu. Okay, so I think we're talking about the this control or the all control. Does this happen right after apply this control? Apply, sorry, a back color? Okay, yes, I think it does. So we're talking about the menu here, unload this or all. Okay. So we're going to be calling unload control with either control or apply to this. What does it mean to unload everything? They all go away. And I assume that saves. It does. What a fascinating feature? I guess I'd call it a feature. I don't know what the use case is of hide everything and also save that in my settings so that if I did it by accident, I'm very sad. Like, there's not an undo button for that. Well, that's not changing that feature is not why we're here today, so that's fine. But that is what we're talking about. This is trying to unload all controls or just this control. And we can see here why, partially, how this was confusing. So we're going to just change that to apply to all. So if the value is apply to all, then unload all currently loaded controls. Actually, are we unloading controls? What does it mean for our purposes? OptBI, where are you defined? All right, so click show hide. Okay. We import we'll close that window. We're not actually unloading these things. I'm not even sure there's a meaningful way to unload them. We're just hiding them. Fascinating. Remove all controls from TitanBar. Okay, and then this is remove just the selected control from TitanBar. And that's something I actually forget about. Sometimes I will want to get rid of a currency, like let's get rid of ancient script here. You can just say unload this control and that one just goes away. And I forget about that. So fair enough. And if I want to bring it back, I have to come on in here, ancient script on TitanBar. Okay, so that setting was updated. What is that like? So if it's shown, then set the where to 3, and then show hide currency. Okay. Show equals not show. I really dislike the fact that there's 2 parallel systems for, show or where. But I don't think I have a good solution for that right now. Okay. So we've at least fixed this value instead of control to be apply to all, because control made it seem very much like it was this one, which is apply to this. So we have some currency specific things. Cool. So again, if currencies evolves into a list that just identifies the things that are currently on the bar, then we'll still be able to iterate through it, and that'll be fine. So I think that's fine. Let's go ahead and commit the changes we have made. Let's first make sure we did a save all. We did not. Let's take a look at what we've got. Okay, so changed unload control parameter to be clearer. Okay, so control has become apply to all. So that's this. And added a few comments. Great. Okay, let's keep going. Where's my find? Yep, there we go. So that is here. What about this one? In BG color. Oh, right. I think we have the same problem here. Command could be reset, match, apply. Value could be control, all, apply to this, or TitanBar. And if value is control, which we can see there's only a few cases for that. Okay, so this is the apply TitanBar background color to of a thing. So apply TitanBar back color to this control or all control. Okay, CTR seems to be generally applied to all. This control, all control, and TitanBar. close a few extra things here. Okay, so we have the values. We have control, all, apply to this, and TitanBar. And what's interesting is you can see that the all just dispatches it to all controls and to TitanBar. Okay, so BG color for control is that same apply to all that we were seeing. So what I want to do is just probably do the same thing here. So the value equals apply to all. And I want to come back to that all as well. Okay, so we want the all next. And here we are. We're just going to say that's apply to all and TitanBar. And then we can see apply to all and TitanBar. So BG color, yep, reset, BG color, BG color. So we have apply to all and TitanBar, apply to all and TitanBar. This is apply control back color to. Yeah. Now that one's all control and TitanBar, all control, TitanBar. This one is this control, all control, and TitanBar. The fact that those are not in the same order is frustrating, but not a problem for today. Even this clarifying a purpose, this is a little bit beyond our scope here, but it really is helpful, I think, in understanding how this thing is being used. So I'm okay with that in this sense. Okay, so we're going to do fixed name of variable, maybe. Change BG color parameter to be clear. That works. Okay, so this menu, instead of all, we're doing apply to all and TitanBar. Control is apply to all. And now, is that confusing? It might maybe a little bit confusing, but I think we have a lot more contextual clues as to what's going on this time. Okay, now that we have that settled, currencies, in the apply to all, we iterate through each of the currencies and use those keys. No, use that key to set the alpha, red, green, and blue for the background for that thing. And go ahead and dispatch the setback color to that control if the thing is shown. There is so much code in here that's duplicating the idea of if this thing is around, tell it to do the thing. You know, is show of the key, or is the show variable set, is the global table present, or etc. I really feel like a simple function of that could have been useful. Oh well. So I think this one is fine. So functions menu control .lua. We iterate through them to, what are we doing? unload or set e.g. color. This is fine if currencies changes to a list of loaded currencies only. And let's actually make a note. This is, so this equals, this is fine, yeah. And so we're going to go ahead and mark this one. Those two are both fine if we make that change. Let's go back to form options and reevaluate that. When we're updating the TitanBar controls, we're iterating through each of these. If the table exists, then we go ahead and... Would it make sense to reinitialize this? I don't think so. Okay, so we set the show height for that key. That's all great. And if that currencies is just what's currently visible, that's fine. Okay, FRM main. How does that work? We are in FRM. We're just in FRM main. For each thing in currencies, and then we'll import the control. Yeah, so if this came from a save file saying what currencies are on the bar, that's fine. Okay, background Lua. Updating the background variable. Yeah, I think that works. I keep trying to save this. Okay. Menu control was the last one, and then finally settings. Okay, settings.lua. Initialization of currencies. We want this to be a list of added in use currencies in the character settings. So we're, all right, fine. Okay, we want this to be, so that's this. Is the initialization of currencies. So we do want to get rid of this in the sense that we just want to look at the character settings, and everything will just go straight there. None of this parking it in an intermediate data structure. Okay. What next? Is currency. Could we just look at wallet items and say, if this replace with lookup in wallet items? I think that is something we can do. Okay. Initializing each currency. Okay, when we initialize the default values, if settings doesn't exist, we make it. If the VRGBXY. Okay, so for all of these, we're setting up values if we don't currently have settings. Okay? And then we initialize these global settings. This is super annoying. In that we do not just use the stuff as they are in the settings structure. We copy them out into a separate place in memory because the things in the settings are explicitly strings and the things here are explicitly numbers. And that means we just have to copy everything back when it's time to save off. And I'm not a fan of that. But fixing that is a problem for another day. So we set up the values with default values if necessary, and then once that's done, we copy those values to global. And I think we can do that as we are loading. I think we can do this as a currency is being loaded instead of here. Okay. Okay, we have a currency named key lookup table. Initialize this from settings, and add to it as currencies are added to bar. I think that is replaceable. All right, saving. Save control settings. Fine to switch to settings because save control settings is going to go the other way, where we take those numerical values, format them as a 3 decimal digit string? Really? I want to see that. Yeah, that we do. 3 digits of precision. All right. Okay. But we're just going through each of the things, and so if we have loaded a control in, it's going to be in currencies, and we'll want to save off all of these things. If there was an entry in the save file, but it was not loaded in, so we didn't have a chance to change its visibility or change its position or anything, then the values that are in settings should still be fine. I'm happy with that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, resetting settings. What do we mean by resetting settings? When is this called? Okay, reset settings. There are 2 possible ways to call this. One of them is with a command, with a console command where you do whatever is the console for this, like /TitanBar space, and then RA. Fascinating. Is that true? So /TitanBar space U. That unloaded it. That's fun. Okay. So we know RA. Wow, that's just like one letter off of R, which is reload, RA, reset settings. That seems dangerous. And then the other option is there is a reset all settings menu option. Wow, right next to everything else. So shell commands. Oh, nice. Opt options, U unload, R reload, RA, reset all. Resets all settings to default. Yeah, I see it. Oh, that's fun. So there are language independent options, and then there are language dependent options. That's an interesting way to do it. So that's the reset all. Interesting. Reload, unload, options. Cute. Okay. So that's the other way to get in here, is the menu option which says reset all settings. Huh. All right. Reset all settings. Bam. Yeah, that does it. Well, I don't actually want all my settings reset. Okay, that's why we have backups. So we have this function called reset settings, and it's going to go through each of the currencies and call reset control settings. But the default setting for a currency, if we just remove it from the list of loaded currencies, well, this is reset settings. Reset settings. Find to iterate through list of loaded controls. Or is that the loaded? No. How are these settings saved? These are in, well, we're resetting those, okay. Saving the control settings. This goes to settings that, and that brings us back to here. So in each of these entries, we would want to reset that. Okay. Reset settings for each currency in character settings. Reset. Call reset control settings. And for that, we could iterate through the entire list of them, because you're not doing this very often. It doesn't need to be performant. Okay, so reset settings, I think that's fine. And then here, replace control. What is this? Okay, step one in understanding what replace control is, let's find this string. What is this? TitanBar screen size has changed, repositioning controls. Okay. You know what? That seems like a great comment for this function. Called when screen size has changed to reposition controls. Okay, what does it do? We're just going through each of those controls. All right, can use setting currencies a list of loaded controls. Okay. So I think it's going to take slightly more messing about, but I think it's safe to say that we can make these changes. So if we do the movement of currencies last, kind of want to do it first though, because I do want it to be in a different location. So everything else can look at it or not as appropriate. Okay, wallet. I'm concerned about wallet. I think that was a mistake. So this is how I would think about splitting a wallet back out of there. But before I do that, let's check for a clean working directory, because this is likely to break things. Okay. In fact, the only thing we did was we added this, added comment. Cool. That's the only thing we did there. Ship it. Okay, so what we want to do here is make a note. Wallet should not have been in currencies. Split it back out. So for each place that iterates through currencies, add it back to the list of non-currencies. That's what we need to do. Okay, clean working directory. Let's work on this. Funky in chat says, hi, hello, welcome to Plugin Along, where we're looking at Lord of the Rings Online's plugins, in this case, TitanBar. We're standing here in scenic Dol Amroth and trying to make the currencies feature better. Okay, so going back to currencies, we've used the find all references function of Visual Studio Code, and we're going to go ahead and step through here. So what we can do is we can say, okay, let's say wallet isn't in there anymore. What does that look like? What do we need to do? And for here, we're going to go ahead and set this up like that. So if we wanted to, we could actually mimic the style of the rest of this, saying alpha, and then red, and then green, and then blue equals this. And this is actually the same here. We can see cursor alpha, red, green, and blue. So that's what that would look like in the style of what's below. And as we've discussed, when this wallet thing is done, we could come back here and fold all the rest of these into these global tables instead of having their own bespoke variables. Maybe should have done that in the beginning before all of this, but Again, it's one of those things where if we let the scope get too broad, we might not make enough progress on anything, and then it'll never work. So that's why I've tried to say we can always do more later. Okay, so wallet is no longer in currencies here. Or that's the assumption we're making. This goes through everything that is a currencies, but it didn't go through wallet. Okay, next one. So we can say if show of wallet, then import control of wallet. End. At that point, we can say, hey, this thing doesn't need to be there anymore. If the key is wallet, well, it's not going to be. We're going to remove it from currencies. There's not going to be a wallet. Then we're checking the is active. Okay, we're actually checking show key. If show of wallet, then import control. Okay, so delete that line. Deleting code, my favorite thing to do. And then we have separated that out. Next one. Okay, update TitanBar controls. All right, if wallet. Okay, what is the wallet's global value here? Let's come on into wallet, and table equals global of key, which is wallet. Fantastic. If wallet does not equal nil, then, so we're going to copy this. So that's going to be a showing of wallet, and the control equals wallet. Okay, so wallet and not nil, then TitanBar controls of wallet equals show high, show of wallet, control equals wallet, control. Great. Now, again, if I wanted to kind of model where this is eventually going to go, this would be the global entry of wallet does not equal nil, then TitanBar controls wallet, show high equals that, and then control equals global of wallet. And then we can see how easily this slides into the parameterized version. However, my goal currently is to restore its symmetry with the non-currency things. So we're going to go like this. Okay, so wallet is being handled. Anything in here talking about wallet? No? Okay, good. Next one. If show wallet, then wallet control set back color t color end. And you know what? I shouldn't be typing when I could copy paste. So pasted that over so we make sure we spelled everything correctly. So if the show of wallet, then wallet of control, setback color, t color, great. Nothing else in here is talking about wallet, so we're done there. In here, handle everything else. If show wallet, whoops, then, oh, hang on a second. Antal says, hey, before, hello and welcome to a little bit of a rewind that we're doing here. Show high currency. What's going on with wallet? Okay, so show hide currency. How does this? Frustratingly, it's not that much of a problem. I kind of had visions of a lot of other things being collapsed into here. So I think show hide currency is a bit of a misnomer for wallet, but the essence of it is actually fine, I think. Now we could go back to the show hide wallet function that used to exist way back when and just joink that in. If we wanted to do that, we've saved all here. Let's unload the TitanBar. And we can go ahead and just stash that. Come on back into the initial version. Show hide wallet. We can yank this out. And then come back into our source control and apply those changes. Great. Okay, so that's where we were. So show hide currency. If we wanted to show hide wallet, now we do need, we're going to introduce this temporarily, and then we're going to go ahead and update some things. So show, that becomes a wallet, equals not that. Okay, WI, oh, import control, that's going to be wallet. WI is that, that's wallet, wallet. I assume opt wallet exists, yep, okay. And then BG alpha, okay, what was it? Okay, set back color, and we can actually call get BG color with wallet. Okay. So, do we need those rights? Whatever. Okay, so settings, wallet. And so, yeah, we can just go ahead and indicate that's that. Equals show wallet. I'm saying wallet so much it's starting to lose all meaning. Wallet control, set background, format, I want to close. Wallet, 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 wallet. Okay. So, is there a point to this? It's really that the does not have where thing. I would like to get rid of that because the only entry in there is wallet. The only reason it's there is because I conflated these things. Get rid of does not have where. So I want to be able to get rid of does not have where. And so in that sense, I do need show hide wallet. But this will really be show hide control eventually, is my hope. So to do, use this as basis of show hide control, a parameterized version of show hide x. Okay. So that being said, we now have a show hide wallet that we've restored. We don't have any more of those WIs. All of that is walleted. It's probably good. Let's go ahead and load it, make sure we didn't have any syntax errors. Great. And where on earth were we using this? Okay. So, if show wallet, then show hide wallet, opt wallet, set checked, false, end. Sounds great. That's the unloading of the control. Now, does not have where. We know that that's not going to be a problem, but we're going to clean that up in the does not have where elimination section of this program. So, to do, remove this block as wallet is no longer a part of currencies. Cool. And to do. So that is going to go away, but we'll hold off for a little bit. So show hide wallet, opt wallet. Okay, oh, that's great. So that was that. This one, let's update those line numbers. This one. Okay, so we're iterating through each of these, and what we want to do is start with this wallet. And then this that's weird. Why did I think that was a good idea? Uncertain. I think that's unnecessary. Color equals get the background of the key, but we just set that. We already have this. I don't think that's necessary. So we have the table equals that, but hey, we can just go ahead and get rid of that as well. Okay, so we have if show wallet, then wallet control, set background color, color, end. Okay, so we've extracted wallet on out, nothing wallet specific in there, so we're good to keep going. Currencies, we are going to go ahead and delete wallet. We've made really good progress. I don't think it's going to be a problem. Okay, is currency. Wallet is not a currency. However, did any uses of is currency assume wallet would be there? So we're going to come back and check on that. But for now, it shouldn't be a problem. All right, initialize control setting. Oh, my line number changed. Find all references, please. There we go. Okay, so we're going to initialize control settings. So we need to do these things for wallet. And we can see that is going to be down here. Okay, so we should double check what get default is doing here. Default setting, default has, okay, just for money actually, so we actually don't need that. Okay, so defaults here, TX is fine. Get default for V, that's going to be true. Now it's going to be false. Interesting. Is it? What is V? I think V is show. And wallet does default. That's a good question. What does wallet default to? Reset all settings. Wallet does default to false. Okay. Wallet, that is going to be false. If has window, now we know window has window. Sorry, wallet has window. So we can go ahead and get rid of the if, and does not have where. Well, wallet does not have a where, so we're going to get rid of that. Okay, that's the first half of that. And then the second half of that, hey, it's Lord Zach in chat, hello. Second half of that is all of this nonsense. So, coming on down, we're going to do this half of things, which we can see the parallel stuff down here. But, of course, while it has been parameterized, so we can go ahead and swap all those in. But we know that while it does not have a where, and we know it does have a window, so we can go ahead and nix those. Okay, so now we know that okay. Okay, so currencies. We've just pulled out the wallet part of initializing control settings. So now this is correct. We pulled it out of here. Awesome. Next thing. Okay, making a lookup table from the translated name. Okay. Same basic question. Where is CurrencyNameToKey used, and is a wallet a part of it? Because I think the answer is no. There's a cat playing with a cardboard box, but it's a new cardboard box, so it sounds very different. Okay, we're going to check on that, but the code is fine. Okay, save currency-specific data. Okay, obviously we want to save stuff off, so we're going to copy this out. And then we're going to go ahead and come on in here. So, each of these. We're going to go ahead and double check here. Settings wallet, show wallet, format, all that looks great. Has window, we know it has a window, so we can get rid of that. And we know it does not have a where. And we can see the start of parameterization. Okay, so that's saving the control settings. Wallet has been extracted. Find all references so that this is correct. Okay, reset control settings. Let's grab all of this that we were doing. It's probably going to be pretty similar to what's going on down here. So, for each of these keys, but we know there is no where for a wallet, and we know it does have a window. Yeah. So, for the rest of these, we can mimic the initialization here. We're actually going to pull up a beyond compare. Sorry, this is sublime text. And grab each of these. Nope, comma separated. Equals, and they're going to grab each of these values, comma separated. Cool. So that gives us a final line that looks like this. So it's going to look very similar to the rest of these, except some of them will have different initialization values. True, false, 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 false. Oh, interesting. What am I doing wrong there? Okay, show you, oh yeah, okay. So this one, show alpha, red, green, blue, left top, and then we have, oh yeah, the window itself. Great. And we can see true was the default there, and that's fine. TATR, TG, TB, great. Hard-coded? Yeah, okay. Cool. TY and left and top. Awesome. So that seems reasonable, and now it's no longer part of this. And then the final one. Replacing control. This is called when the screen size change to reposition controls. Great. So we're going to come on in here. We will put it more in line with what's going on in other places. Equals setting of wallet x divided by that. Position left of wallet equals that. Settings wallet x equals string format of that. And then okay, visible can be simplified here. We don't need that. If show wallet, then wallet control set position left and top end. Perfect. So that's been hoisted back out of the currencies, and now currencies does not have wallet. Awesome. Let's go ahead and test that. Okay, so unloaded, reloaded. But I do want all of those settings back. So let's go ahead and grab those. Very good. And we're good. Okay, so, except wallet is not visible. Excellent. Let's take a look at that. We can see here, functions menu. Did we actually save everything? Looks like we did. Okay. Okay, we have some places where we still need to eliminate some of those other things, like is currency. Hopefully that was in my to-do list, because we're going to need that next. Did any uses of is currency assume wallet would be there? Well, we've already seen yes. Yes, they did. So let's go ahead and kind of tempted to commit stuff even now. Hoisted wallet out of currencies. Part 1. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and save that. Delete that, then import that. Great. Okay, just wallet. Show hide wallet, great. That. I think that's fine. You know what? I say that. Let's undo that. Okay, and here's wallet. Great, we're going to look at that. Removing it from there. Settings, wallet, and that. Okay, everything is saved. Great. Okay, so that's part 1. Let's go ahead, now that we have a clean working directory, more or less, let's move on to the next part because this is related. Functions menu. Okay, so what we're looking for is is currency. That's the one. So we're going to find all references of this, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to look and see, does it make sense? What's up with non-currencies? And the answer is yeah, we need something here. Okay, looks like there was nothing special about functions. It might be nice to go take a look at the history of functions, because it might be nice to just say, hey, where is this? 190. Okay, this is show tooltip win, and we want the WI, which was wallet. All right, enough of this. I'm just going to pull that into a new window. Fascinating. Was wallet not in here? No, BI was. SPS, MC. Yield tokens, medallions, steals, recommendations, player location, game time, vault storage, bank day, night, LOTRO points, emerald, stars of merit, anniversary token, moats, embers, figments, fall, farmers, spring, amazement, ancient. Okay. Was there no tooltip? Hang on a sec. Let me go ahead and reset all settings, unload, and we're going to go ahead and stash our work, and we're just going to go back in time and load TitanBar. And we're going to go ahead and put wallet on here. You track no currency, left click to see the currency list. Obviously, there's a tooltip. But, shows tooltip win might be specifically what? There we go. Okay. Wallet control. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So it has its own tooltip win. What did we do with that? So we're going to go ahead and step back forward through time. And yeah, we're going to come in here to wallet. And we still have a, okay, so the wallet tooltip is there. Don't need to worry about it. Great. That explains why I wasn't finding it. Okay, what's next? That's interesting. Why are... Oh, of course. Interesting. Yes. Friendly name in save file does not persist through a file reset. Good to know. That being said, we're going to go ahead and just go back to our saved files here, because that's easier. Okay, so we can see the wallet did not load. Its icon is normally in the middle there. So we still need to hunt that down. Okay, so let's come into is currency, and we're going to find all references. Really? I really feel like that's not right. Okay. Okay. Should tooltip win. This is called by a lot of places, but it's not called by wallet. Okay. So that was never a problem. Why is that misbehaving? Okay. So is currency, then we do stuff. Otherwise, we do other stuff. Wallet was never in there. Great. Moving on. Adjust icon. Yeah, we're going to need that. So, coming back to the history, we're just going to go grab the old version of that. Do we not have an adjust icon? There it is. Okay. It's misspelled and I was not misspelling it. At least I feel like there should be a D somewhere in adjust. Fantastic. We're going to go ahead and search for adjust, and that is a bigger problem than I have energy in me to solve today. So, adjust is misspelled. Should be adjust. I don't think the original author was a necessarily native English speaker, and that's a tricky word, so that can happen to any of us anyway. But it does explain why I wasn't finding it. Okay, so adjust icon, if wallet, and then we're going to come on down here to whatever is after, wait, wallet's right here. Perfect. So else if is currency, we're already Good. Fantastic. Okay. That's the second one in functions. Fantastic. Moving on. Import control. If it is currency. Okay, so we had a wallet, we had a money, we had a LOTRO points, we had an else. So wallet was already being handled in here. So we're going to go ahead and hoist that out. And put that in here. Cool. Update wallet. Yeah. Awesome. That's probably fine, and that would explain why the import control wasn't working. Cool. That was this one. Apply to this. So if we're going to go ahead and copy some of this, then make this an else if. So if the from control equals wallet, then show hide currency. No, we have a show hide wallet now. Show hide wallet. And then opt wallet. Set check to false. Now, if does not have where, we no longer need this. What are we in? Unload? Yeah, we're in unload. So we now know currencies always have where because we've solved the problem, that exception. And then we can show hide. And I really feel like show hide should be the one setting the where. In fact, I'm going to make a note that this makes me sad. This makes me sad. Toggling where to 3 should be done inside show hide. Currency not separate. Okay. So if currency where show hide, else wallet is here. Good. Is currency there? And currency, bam. Okay. So we can go ahead and clear that line. That was is currency. Okay. No. Don't need that one. Okay, so if wallet has been moved down to here. Great. This. We're going to come back to that. This is fine. This is fine. And still not sure about that. Okay. Next thing. Get rid of does not. Oh, show hide currency. What's going on with the wallet? I think we've already fixed that. We have a show hide wallet. Okay, get rid of does not have where. Let's do it. Show hide currency. All currencies have a where. Okay, wallet is not in currencies, so we do not need to check that. Again, this makes me sad, but we'll fix it someday, maybe. Okay, initialize default control setting. Now we know that we've already separated out wallet from here. We're not going to see it in currencies, and wallet is itself down there. So we know anything called into here is not wallet. Wallet's the only thing that doesn't have a where. Therefore, we can always do that. Same thing here. If it's in here, we're good to go. Now, that might actually change again in the future because I'd love to make every control go through this. But at that point, I think it'll be if it's a currency, it has a where, not if it doesn't have a where. All right, same thing with save control settings. We know that we separated out wallet, so it is safe to say that it has a where. Okay, it does not have where. Reset control settings. Again, wallet is separated out, so everything in here is going to be where. And again, that's reset control settings. Probably should have been reset currency settings, but I do have visions of this being more generic, in which case this will be something better. Okay. Replace control. We know wallet's been pulled out, so visibility equals show, and either it does not have a where or where key. This is never going to be true, so we can simplify down. So if we're shown and where the control is on the bar, then do the thing. At this point, we do not have does not have where in use anywhere, and at that point we can kill this to do entry. Fantastic. Part 2. Oh, oops, that should have been part 3. Removed does not have where. Okay, that's that. This, still not sure about that. Have to actually test it. Does not have where, gone. Does not have where, does not have where, does not have where, does not have where, and does not have where. Great. Let's go ahead and actually test. Does this thing load? It does. Oh, hey, we got our currency window back. Yay. Progress is being made. Okay. Where is CurrencyNameToKey used? Great question. Okay. Add currency callback if needed for wallet item. Great. Where's that being called? Currency added. Currency removed. Load player wallet key equals currency name key of current name. Okay, so that's a lookup. What's the point of this thing? What's a wallet item in this world? Wallet item has get image. We should be doing that. Currency name to key. So we're getting a name. We're going through each of these. We're getting a key. The only thing is money. Money is so weird. All right. What's the language string for money? It's money. Fantastic. Okay. In all cases except money, this should be the image ID of the currency. Okay. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so add currency callback if needed. I assume we can't do that for money. I assume money is done differently. Update money. Great. Where are you? Why is my find being weird? When in doubt, close on out. Okay, update money is here. Import control. We're adding player's money change. We're going to call update money, and then we'll call it first. Great. Update money there, yeah. Update money. Update shared storage gold. Cool. Update money. And all characters checkbox in the money window. That's not the money window. That's the money window. Show money, show all your characters. Sure, okay. So, those are update money. We are not dealing with these other bits. So, add currency callback if needed is going to be when a currency is added. Okay? Currency added, yes. So we're discriminating. If we don't recognize the key, then we don't do anything with it. And I think what we're going to be doing is changing that to the currencies table. So CurrencyNameToKey here, we'll just get the image ID from the thing. We've got the wallet item here, so we can get the image ID. And then if that is in the list of currencies, no. Because we need to add the currency callback if needed. Well, what's add currency callback if needed look like? Right. Player currency handler, currently using currency name, but we could be changing that. Okay. So add currency callback if needed. Uses name could, should, needs to switch to image ID. Okay. That's the add currency callback if needed. Update currency. What are we doing with update currency? Okay, we're probably only calling update currency here. Currency removed, currency added. Do we... Maybe we don't care about these things unless we're already tracking them. I think that's currently true. Okay. What else do we have? Load player wallet. We get the key from the name. Instead, we can just use the ID. Okay. Player currency and player currency handler. Player currency. Oops. Player currency handler. These need to be indexed by image ID, not name. Okay. Load player wallet is looking at this key, that key. Oh, and current, yeah. So we can get rid of that usage. Okay, update currency. Okay. So, CurrencyNameToKey. I think we can say that this is not needed for our purposes. This was a way to take something in the wallet, transform it into our internal key. But if we can get the name of the item in the wallet, we should be able to get the image ID instead, so that'll be good. So what we're going to do here is kill that. So key equals current item get image. And key is going to be if key does not equal nil, then I don't imagine that it could ever be nil. But just in case they didn't attach an image to it, we're just not going to recognize it, then player currency of key, in fact, what's up with name? Hate it, get rid of it. Okay, so player currency key equals current item, player currency handler, player currency handler. We already checked key is not nil. And then we add to this, add callback this, but why is that instead of this? I don't know. It's fine. Quantity changed, and the function of this. Okay, that looks plausible, and was one less place to use CurrencyNameToKey. Let's do this. Okay, local key equals wallet item get image. What is currency name being used for? Same stuff, hate it, get rid of it. Currency name, currency name, currency name, currency name. Great. Okay. Next up, key equals that. Why do we have currency name? We're just checking. We're just checking. Oh wait, we do have key. Okay. Equals item get image. Don't need currency name then. If key, then add currency callback if needed of item. Cool. Update currency, which takes the key and the quantity. Okay. We're going to be looking at update currency. It's on the to-do list after this. And finally, currency removed. So we're going to go ahead and say key equals item get image. Update currency, that's fine. Remove callback. Well, I've either been staring at this too much or currency is spelled weird. Okay, we have the key. Update the currency with a key. Remove callback. From item, okay, that's fine. And then getting rid of that, which means we don't need the name. Okay, cool. So, where is currency name used and is wallet a part of it? Done that part. And then need to find code that uses things like currency name to key and address how it uses those. Yep, we're working on it. And hey, player currency handler, yes. So we're going to find all uses of, nope, we're going to save that. now this is all kind of together. This is definitely in a broken state until we kind of verify it ourselves. Okay, player currency, great. And player currency handler, indexed by image ID. Okay, so this is fine. This one, currency removed, key equals image. Yep. Great, and we just did those, that helps. Okay, load player wallet, key equals get image, and we're passing that off here, 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 here. All right, next one. Okay, destiny points, yeah, okay. Destiny points is itself an image ID, that's great. Localized name, nope, that can't be great. Okay. Get currency, that's gonna be a problem. Get currency. Okay, and then finally this one, show tables content. This is your currency, player's currency. I'm interested in that actually. Okay. Test TitanBar PW. Okay, so player currency and player currency handler are almost good, except that we have this get currency function. How is this used? Okay, and we need that to be the whole word. All right. Called from update currency. Cool. Now that might not be the only place, but it's definitely called from update currency. So if update currency is receiving a number, everything else can. Okay. Wallet tooltip. If it's not equal money, then what on earth is this? Wallet tooltip list box. That's here. So if it's not money, let's go ahead and add that and Yule. Okay, so this is what we're talking about here. So we're refreshing the wallet tooltip. Okay. We just clear it whenever we look at it. All right. If it's not money, then we get the icon, and then we get the quantity, and we're getting currency using this thing, which is menu item. But menu item is IDs. So if it's not money, it must be an image ID. Therefore, get currency, Jesus, is getting passed a number. Okay. That's fine. Get currency. This is in fact a number, and let's go ahead and rename that to key. Okay, so we're getting a key. Get currency called from here. That's fine. Interesting. Okay. I'm wondering if there's any satisfying way to convert this image number into something. Like, I can obviously do that, but if the image doesn't exist, we've got a problem. So if image num, then we call get currency, otherwise it's 0. I mean, that's fine. I mean, obviously it didn't work, but it's fine other than that. Oh, it might not work because we're in the middle of things. Okay. We're going to call that a fine warning for now because we are, in fact, taking something that could be nil. If what we pass here doesn't parse correctly, we're going to end up with nil. Patine says, thanks for the stream, going to hand out. Well, have a good one. Yeah, that is true. I have gone a little bit over my normal stopping time. Well, normal. Scheduled, maybe is the better word. Okay. So get currency here is fine. Here, we're getting a key, and that's fine. That's a comment. So get currency actually needs to work, though. So if the key is this is how we do it. If the key is this, then we do that. Otherwise, we look at a localized name for the key. And that's actually technically correct at the moment because we have those right there. And then we're just iterating through everything in player currency. Player currency is indexed by yeah, we don't need the localized name there. Then current quantity equals that. What on earth? Oh, I don't like that at all. We can just say if player currency of key, then current quantity equals player currency of key get quantity. End. We don't need to iterate through everything in there looking to find the thing that we're looking for. That's just silly. Hey, do we have our numbers back? We do not. Okay, let's start with something simpler. Yule Festival token. Until, there we go. Okay, what's up with that? Why, what are we getting? So, turbine.shell.writeLine. We're gonna debug it for a single thing before we get into broader things. All right, so we unload, we load. Oh, hey. Certainly got a thing. Oh, hey. Functions menu. Okay. Close that, close that. Functions menu 16. Really? Bad argument to format. Number expected got nil. There's a cat on the stream behind me. Ah, the other couch. Okay. Show head currency. Okay, fine. Turbine.shell.writeLine. Show head currency of key. Tell me more. What am I doing wrong? All right, that might actually. Hang on a sec. Let's go ahead and reset all settings and reload. Wallet. There we go. Show head currency should not have been called for that. Turbine.shell.writeLine. And this is a useful debugging thing, is in the engine, there's a function called getCallStack. I'm not sure what the arguments are going to be, but turbine.engine getCallStack, all of it. So reload. We're going to go ahead and hide wallet. Reload. Just starting back from scratch. Wallet. Okay, so we can see we're in the functions menu, show head currency, where we don't want to be right now. And that was menu.lua. All right, menu.lua, 49. Yeah. Show hide wallet. So that's the only one of those. That was a hard-coded thing. So if we reload this, coming back in to wallet, fantastic. The menu item works now. Well, that's fascinating. Why are we calling it currency so spastically? When we hover, oh my goodness. We go through everything in there, and we get the updated number. Why are we not checking the where? Okay, just, out of curiosity. Right, can't actually just check where, have to actually do this. Hey, look at that. All right, so if we go ahead and add here, we can see now we called get currency whenever we hover over that, but not for all of them. Neat, that's progress. Okay, get call stack. I don't think we need that for Yule here, but we are in get currency for Yule, so that's promising. Okay, so don't need to worry about that one anymore. Or the menu. Okay, so we're in. Nope, show hide currency. We're done with that. Show hide currency of that. Don't need it. Okay. But get currency. If key is designated, key is LOTRO, else localized. Ah, of course. Player currency handler. How did that not show up before? Player currency. Key. Great. Don't need the localized name. And there's our stuff again. Great. So we're going to unload here and come back in, grab our save file. Oops. Close that. Come on into here and unload all, load TitanBar. Awesome, we have all this again. Now, we could go back to that one line, if I can find it. Okay, we have get currency, which is now working, and getting past a key. Get currency, takes a key, awesome, get rid of that turbine, okay. This one. Huh. Okay, so that actually works. Am I convinced it would always? Image num equals no. Sure. Tell me more. Fascinating. Does Lua do short circuiting? Okay, looks like it does. Yes. But if image num equals nil, if image num equals nil, then this is false. Therefore, it shouldn't evaluate get currency. Okay. What's going on here? Is this? Oh, of course. It doesn't do all of those. It only does the hover over. I lost focus on what I was doing. Let's go ahead and add a couple of things here. Because that's not in the save file, I have to redo that each time. Okay, there we go. Now we can see we're iterating through a bunch of things here. Why are we iterating through a bunch of things here? But I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Called setting of nil. Coming on in. Okay, we're definitely seeing all of the currencies here. So whatever fix I made, it doesn't seem like it worked. All right, I think we're gonna go fix get currency. That is a optional number. If not key, then return 0, end. Okay. Get currency is that here for the tooltip. We're iterating through each one here. So menu item also needs to go. And if it's not money, and if the where of that is not equal to 3, oh, of course. Because what I'm actually asking is if it's equal to do. Yes, that makes sense. I had partially fixed it. All right, however, here we can see we're only looking up the yield tokens, but nothing else. Because, yes, I really don't like these magic numbers of 1, 2, and 3 for the where, but that is a problem for another time. Okay, neat. Okay, fix that little thing. So, what are we doing? Feels like I'm bouncing off the walls. Let's go on back to to-do. Update currency. Okay, so get currency is called from update currency. And I think we're satisfied that this is done. Because this is a comment. Here we pass key, which is the number. Where else do we use key? Yep, the global lookup, the where, calling adjust icon, all that's great. In this is the actual function, and we now are using key correctly. And in here, get currency is passing an image number. Perfect. All right, so we're done with get currency. I mean, I'm inclined to commit some stuff. So this is part 4. Get currency. Yep, that is great here. What we want to do is, this is a bug fix, so we'll commit that separately. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. What on earth? Okay. Update currency. Sure. It's a mix of things, probably. That's another bug fix. Did we do a save all? We did. All right, so bug fix called write show hide function for wallet. That's not my bug fix. Okay, and the wallet tooltip. Actual bug fix. Only check currencies that are actually in the wallet tooltip. Cool. All right, I should just double check this thing. Okay, functions menu control. Functions menu control. We have a change here on line 101. This was apply to all for currencies. So we're going to go ahead and change setback color. Apply to all. Cool. We can see setting that. Everything's working great. And then reset back color of everything. Oh, right. The transparency doesn't save correctly in that. That's a known bug. At least I hope it is. Okay, so I'm convinced that that change there was sufficient. Simplified sum code. Commit. Okay. We're going a little long today, but I'd love to finish up what we're working on right now so it's in my head. So we're going to be finding every player currency and making sure it's indexed by key. Great. Oh, and we do want to check that. In fact, we can do that right now. TitanBar PW. Awesome. And cool. Now, I don't actually like a bit of that. Okay, where all is table content going? Just here. Is that what it is? Get name for what item? Get name, yeah. Let's see if that's more useful. Yes, there we go. So we've updated the printing out of the wallet function to go ahead and give key and value. You may request to add currency if it's not listed in the wallet. Give the key. Cool. Give the key and value give both the key and value texts to the maintainer so it can be added into future versions of TitanBar. Thanks. Okay, so that look okay? Yeah. Perfect. Of course, I have so many things in my wallet that I would actually have to go log that into a file and get it from there, but that's okay. I also think it'd be neat, like, I don't know, for unknown to TitanBar entries, we could probably do something more visually so that this command just isn't necessary. Okay, we did the test. Test that. Done. Okay, let's look for player currency handler. We missed one of these, so we want to make sure we get that right. Okay, so that's key, 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 key. Nope, destiny points is fine. That's a key. Also that, and key. Perfect. Okay. Update currency. How is this getting called? Okay, update currency key. Well, we are saying it's a key. This is passing a key. This is passing a key, which is coming from get image specifically. And this key, also image. Great. All right, update currency value. What's going on here? It requires 2, but instead is receiving 1. Yeah, that seems like a problem. Import control. Do we... There we go. We'll call that explicitly that. Okay. Value in this case was import control. That's fine. Update currency key, where key is image. Great. And destiny points, which is a key. Okay, so I'm convinced update currency is good. These need to be indexed by image. Yep. Add currency callback if needed. Uses name. Did we fix that? All right. Wallet item. Gets a key from that and uses it everywhere. Beautiful. And then we pass an item. All right. Fixed. Sweet Baby Ray says, don't forget a semicolon. I appreciate that. Now, Lua is actually pretty flexible. There's a few places where you need a separator, like when you have table entries. But it is often okay. Now, where was I when you said that? Well, perhaps I got it in the meantime. Yeah, Lua is actually pretty flexible. So while I do use semicolons at the end of lines, it is, strictly speaking, not necessary most of the time. Like if I delete these 2 semicolons, that is legal Lua syntax. It's totally fine. There are a few places, and so one of them would be, let's go into settings. Separators between entries in a table are mandatory, and that's true even if they're more complicated tables that it feels like it's a little redundant. So if we came into wallet items here, this thing equals this block here. And it feels like because you have that open and closing braces here, that you should not need a separator. It should be optional, just like in other places in Lua. But that's not true. You need a comma or a semicolon between these table entries, even though, strictly speaking, it might be deducible based on the fact that you have a closed semicolon, which should, by all means, terminate that block. Lua, you just have to be aware of where you do need to care about your separators, semicolon is, or comma in this case, and where you don't. So I don't actually need them at the end of these lines. I just like having them there because I come from a C++, C# background, and so for me it's quite unnatural to end a statement without that. But of course, even in C or C++, you have some flexibility. Like if you have a for statement, for and I equals 0, I is less than 10, plus I, right? Like, oops, no. So this statement, you do not end with a semicolon. In fact, if you had a semicolon there, that would be weird from a C, C++, C# standpoint. And this is a source of numerous bugs right here, is putting a semicolon at the end of your for statement. So even in those more classically brace-oriented languages, you do have to be mindful of where you do and do not need it. But cool, yeah, thanks for shutting it out. Sometimes in Lua, it matters quite a lot, and it's nice to be consistent, right? So if you're writing in code where they never use a semicolon and you start using it, that looks visually weird. You were referring to CrowdStrike. Well, that's fair too. And if you use semicolons where they're not there, it looks weird. If you don't use semicolons where they are there, that looks weird too. I thought with I haven't actually heard the reason for CrowdStrike delivering empty definition files onto computers, but That's a nightmare situation there for a company that sends out patches to customers and then taking those customers down. Although, in general, if you are receiving updates to software, especially mission critical software, you should have a test environment where you demonstrate that this works the way you expect it to work before pushing it out to all of your computers. So while CrowdStrike's deployment certainly caused problems, I do wonder at all those companies that were just like, yeah, sure, that's fine. Like, even in a strict case, even in shops that are doing things like operating system updates, you don't deploy a Windows update to every computer in your environment. You go to your test environment and you update it, and you make sure all the mission critical stuff that you do still works. Because even an operating system update can cause problems. Like, that's just a normal part of doing business, and the fact that so many companies didn't do that is in itself very telling. Like, every company that was taken down by CrowdStrike in a major way, not just, oh, our QA system is down, but like seeing blue screens in airport terminals, every one of those that let that slip by, as far as I know. Again, I could be missing something, like maybe it was testable and worked and then stopped working or something. But yeah, barring that, if this was demonstratable on QA systems, every company that didn't do that, that should just go onto a list of does not have a good integration environment to test this kind of thing, which is alarming given how many of them apparently are on that list. I guess it's not surprising. It's an easy department to cut budget from if you're in a mind to do that, and it's only a problem when it's a problem. Sweet Baby says, my husband programs for a living. He says they were foolish for letting this happen. Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, it's fine to trust vendors for little things, but yeah, if you're going to deploy an update, yeah, pull out your integration, your testing environment, double check it. Right, it says, people forget that McAfee antivirus sent out a def file that deleted a critical Windows file a few years ago. I could definitely believe it. I don't recall that particular news item. But again, that's the kind of thing you would definitely notice in your integration environment, unless you're talking about Heisenbugs where they don't always happen, or they happen due to certain triggers, and those triggers didn't happen in the test environment. Ideally, you do try to run through your normal business activities in your test environment to kind of provoke those kinds of bugs into happening. But the ones that just happen because they were installed, you will find those if you have a test environment stood up. Like, one of my first jobs out of college was basically doing that, where, oh, new software version has come down for Windows or for Microsoft Word or whatever. Install it on my machine or my test machine before it goes to the integration lab, and just verify that things still work. And then it goes off to the integration lab for more thorough verification. And only after it passes that does it go into, well, that goes into the QA. And then it goes into the integration lab so it can bake there for a while. And then it goes out to all of the computers it needs to go out to. And so it just, for places that don't have that kind of a structure, it's very weird. Now, it is funny. People will call it a blue screen of death, and that's fair. It's a reasonable thing to call it, but it is actually a sign that your operating system is working correctly, in a sense. When something goes wrong in the kernel of the operating system, the thing that is operating above everything else and is managing everything else, when something goes wrong there, it can be very bad if things don't immediately stop. If something's gone wrong there, and then you're like, well, I'd better save my file, and you save your file, but something has gone wrong in such a way that the file that you just saved is corrupted, and you just overwrote the good one with this corrupted one, that's a worse situation for a lot of people. And so an operating system, when it detects something is wrong, Windows will go to the blue screen, and other OSs have their own colors. That is a sign that the operating system has correctly identified that something catastrophic has happened, and we need to stop right now. So Yes, blue screens of deaths are not fun to receive, but they are better than the alternative, which is the operating system limps along in an unknown state, possibly doing massive damage to your system. In a software way, like it's not setting your system on fire, probably, but like critical files getting corrupted is worse than your system just stopping. So in that sense, Windows is doing a good thing by blue screening, but it's never fun to be on the receiving end of that. Now there was way back in the day there was a limp along option back in the days of like Win 3.1 running on MS DOS kind of thing where it's like just ignore it, keep going, see what we can do, and the goal was to get back to that. Okay, maybe it's not so bad that you can get Word to like save to a different file, and then maybe when you come back up it'll be okay. It's been so long since I've got on a blue screen on a modern Windows machine like 7 Plus that I couldn't tell you if that's still an option, but. No, once upon a time, that was the limp along option was there, just to like maybe we can partially recover and let you save your work or try to. I think that was the continue option, and abort retry can. No, maybe that was the retry. Yeah. So sometimes those screens would give that option if it wasn't that critical. But like I said, it's been so long since I've seen a blue screen in person that, especially one that was reproducible. That my active interactions with blue screen has basically hit an average of 0 per year for the last decade. Sweet Baby says, happened with me and OBS Streamlabs OBS. I'm glad you have someone who can help you with those. Okay, so we have I got so distracted with talking about things. Did we? Yes, we finished what we were looking at. Let's go ahead and unload this plugin. Let's reload it. Hover over things, make sure things look pretty good. Move some stuff around. Great. Everything's looking great. Okay, so going back into our source control. Finished removing whatever that was. CurrencyNameToKey. CurrencyNameToKey. And actually, in the to-do, okay, can we store currencies by image ID? We can. That's fine. Let's go ahead and move this down here. Okay, where's currency name to keep used and follow the polymer in case money should be, yeah, that's good. Wallet should not mean currency, split it out. Yep, that's done. Remove progressive abilities of that. That's done. Change keys from friendly to image ID. Okay. We can go ahead and outdent that, and we have made some significant progress. I think, given that I'm over 3 hours now, we're going to be going ahead and wrapping up this stream here. So as I'm working on committing these last changes and kind of viewing the summation of what we've done today, now's a great time to get any last minute questions, comments, concerns into chat there so we can look at them, or we can always take a look next week. Okay, what is going on in functions? We added update currency, yeah. Yep, that can be no, that's fine. Okay, so these are two separate things. Stage that. Stage that. And those are different. Okay. That says that. Updated TitanBar /pw to the image ID and get name. Cool. Close enough. And then that is that. Okay. Neat. So we keep on finding so many necessary things to do, but the goal of this, here, let me pin this. The goal of all of this today is that in settings, there is a list of currencies. And right now, this acts as a fixed list of things to show in this window. And there's a lot of things that are looking at this and saying, oh yeah, we should save off my notes. There's a lot of things that are looking at this and saying, this is everything that can appear. And what we want to do is we want to convert this to a list of things that are there because we can accept anything that's in the wallet. And so that's the direction we're going. And this is we're going to go ahead and pull these notes on in to the to-do item. Okay, so how is currencies being used? So we're going to go ahead, I'm just going to remove some of the white space here. So this is what we're going to be focusing on next time is, next time, convert currencies into a settings structure that is pre-created, that is created during, if missing, during load. Then start updating the below entries to use that structure instead of the hard-coded currencies. We'll see, maybe. I will pass along that thanks to SSG. I don't actually work for SSG. I'm just really enthusiastic about both LOTRO and plugins within LOTRO. So I will let them know, but thank you so much. I'm very pleased that SSG continues to work hard. I'm very interested to see the results of the new 64-bit server that they're rolling out for the new Legendary server. And fingers crossed, everything that goes well with there, and they can start rolling that out to the other existing servers so that everyone can take advantage of the new performance improvements. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to start updating the below entries to use that structure instead of the hard-coded currencies. Neat. So that's a plan moving forward. And I think we're getting really close. Once this is in your settings, we'll be able to, I think, not base what's on in here based off of that static list. We'll be able to use the new UI to pull everything from the wallet. When it comes time to add something to the bar, we'll be able to take advantage of everything we've been working on today. So no promises on when this happens, of course, but we are taking good incremental steps towards a future TitanBar, which lets you add arbitrary things from your wallet, whether or not TitanBar knows about it or not. And that's pretty cool. All right. Is there anything else? Nope, there's nothing else in chat. And therefore, that's everything we're going to cover today. Thank you so much for joining me on this exploration of LOTRO plugins. I hope to see you here next week. And until then, keep plugging along. All right, bye-bye now.